Hey, I'm Isabel,
And I'm Aviva. You're listening to When Isabel Met Aviva,
a podcast about rom-coms, female-driven screenwriting, and how to break into the entertainment industry.
Yeah, so today on the pod, guys, we're interviewing Maggie Hartmans. I met her through Threads. So this is a new avenue.
It's a new social media outlet for you.
I've been slower with the Threads, but for a while I was really excited about Threads because it kind of felt like Twitter, like back in the day.
I feel like it has little bursts like that where like everyone starts chatting on Threads for a little bit and then everyone just kind of like goes silent.
Yeah, so I haven't been posting as much. I think I will again in a couple weeks. But anyway, she reached out. I don't know which thread she read of ours. I think it was through our podcast one. I don't know. And she wrote a movie, a rom-com on Tubi that we've been watching called Worth the Wait. So we're excited to talk to her about that. It's what's the right word where like they're multi-storyline?
Yeah,
rom-com?
I was like, is this why we started talking about this, or is this just happening
It's just happening. Everything is like, what's the word? Synchronicity. Everything is
like,
happening.
Are we just in sync with the universe, or is this why we started talking?
Oh my gosh, no! I've just been like so woo-woo, like leaning into all the manifesty stuff lately, and like because it's just been weird, and I'm just like a rom-com lady who's like, it's all a sign, but I feel like everything has been a sign lately.
Okay, so we are just like syncing up. It does make me feel like I do really like these kinds of movies, then I was having a thought: isn't every movie kind of like this? But I guess not. Not the way it's fully like you really follow a story, like someone's storyline for a while. Like I guess I'm just thinking about when we had this discussion before, right? How like there's usually like a side character or like a side story in a movie, but you don't always like follow all it so like detailed when you're in one of these. I don't know what the word is. Multi
storyline, more than just A, B, or C. This is, I didn't count. I think I wrote it down. I think are there 4 storylines? We'll have to ask her. I think there are 4 different relationships. And that's interesting to tackle but that's something you've talked about wanting to do, right?
Yeah, no, it's making me want to like at least start outlining that, because I'm seeing how just to like keep track of all of them. I'm kind of curious to know how did she write this, or did she just direct it?
I think she just wrote it. Okay. I think we'll ask if she was creatively involved elsewhere, but yeah, she just reached out, and I always find I feel like it's serendipitous occasionally when we have like produced writers who reach out, and I'm usually, if they're the right fit, I'm always like, yeah, we should talk to them. Because Emily Ting reached out to us too, which I thought was like, ages ago, and that felt really like aligned, and I don't know. Yeah. It's sweet when people reach out to us. So, but yeah, since she's not here, let's do a little quick update. We still have a few more minutes. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to vaguely say this will make sense one day, everyone. But like this week was really exciting for me.
Yeah.
So exciting. Obviously, Isabel knows. I'm not going to say anything yet because I'm just paranoid and not ready to share anything. But not paranoid, but just like you want things to be more official.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so that will be definitely next season where we can talk more about that.
Yeah, this is our teaser to keep listening.
Teaser, yeah. Just keep following your dreams, guys. I'm gonna be really cheesy, next season, because I feel like, I don't know, I've just been in my feels, as they say.
As you should.
Yeah, thank you. I was reflecting on the podcast. I posted about this on our Instagram, and I really think the purpose of this podcast, this is cheesy, but it's to believe that like your dreams are possible.
Yeah.
Because, and I didn't really even think about that when we started this, but we've interviewed so many screenwriters who've also sold scripts and made their movies, and things have happened. And if it's possible for them, it's possible for you, and it's possible for us. So yeah.
It's true. I know when we think back on like how many episodes we've had, and that the majority of those episodes are with a writer or somebody who has like made a project and done something, to like chase their dream in the industry. So that's pretty cool.
It's really cool. Even talking to Avra last week, just that felt cool too, because it's like she's doing the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
a lot of people say they want to write or act or produce a play, and then they don't do it because life gets in the way, or they're scared, or all these sorts of things. So it's like really beautiful when someone's like chasing a dream, even if it's not happening in the way that they dream about on like a larger scale yet, you know?
Yeah, so true.
So yeah. But you've been writing this morning, right? What's going on with family time?
I've been trying to go back to, I kind of fell off of this a little bit. I mean, definitely having the writers group deadline helped, right? So I feel like most of March I didn't write so much anymore, but I was doing this in February, where I would write for like an hour in the morning. And so I'm trying to get back into that. So I've been trying to block off like my first hour in the morning when I get up is my writing time. And yeah, I'm almost done. I mean, I had already had written out that little like rom-com scene, right, that I told you, and I like took it out. So I'm placing it back in. But this is where I'm kind of curious to hear Maggie's perspective on the multiple storylines, because it is like there's like an art, right, to like how much you show of someone and then you like go to the other storyline. Because I guess I am kind of doing that in the script, right? Because we're following like the three kids and like their different attempts, right? So I'm trying to like weave in all of that all still happening, but then adding this other storyline. So that's where why I took it out before, right? Because like I'm also trying to weave like Amelia's attempts, right, to like end the time loop. But then when I add in the like love interest part of it, it does kind of like add more time to her story, you know? So that I'm like, I don't want to see her for like 5 minutes and then we just like cut back to like, you know, Luna or Gabe or something. So I'm trying to like find what the right balance is for that.
Yeah. I mean, I will say when I read yours, I never thought, besides my rom-com comment about one more scene with the, you know, with Amelia's love life, I felt it felt pretty balanced to me. I never felt like we didn't have enough time with each character. But yeah, no, it is interesting. Like when you're outlining a project from scratch, it is interesting to think about. Because I pretty much always, I'm pretty sure, hang out with just my two leads most of my scripts. With like a little bit of an exception. But yeah, and I think it's hard to do. I mean, for Love Actually, I think it's remarkable that movie has done so well. Even though I have some issues with it, I think it's remarkable because I think it's so hard. Because remember, they tried to do that with Valentine's Day. I don't remember it working very well.
I know, I was thinking about Valentine's Day. I was like, I feel like I always think about watching it again, but then it's like gotta like really be in the mood for that movie.
Oh, you know what? But we have talked about He's Just Not That Into You, which I think actually does balance the storylines.
Does a good balance, yeah.
Yeah, because I recently watched that one, and I mean, I would have preferred more time with Justin Long and what is her name, Jennifer Goodwin's story. You know, that You Are the Exception. That's like, of course, my favorite. But I think it was good to have them all, even though what's his name? The whole cheating storyline was very upsetting. But yeah, that one's just like always hard to watch. And like, especially as I get older, just like realizing increasingly how messed up it all is. I think that when I was a kid, when I was watching, I was like, oh, that's sad. But like now I'm like, oh my God, that's so messed up what he did. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there are any other storyline, like multi-storyline.
Is How to Be Single multi-storyline?
Oh, right. I need to rewatch it, but yes, I think so. And I love that one.
That's the one with the girl. Great. I love that one. I always see this clip on Instagram when the girl is pregnant, right? And she like her guy that she starts seeing like sees her in the store. And
oh yes. What is her name? Leslie. Is it Leslie?
Yeah, Leslie. Is it Leslie? No.
No. She's like married to Judd Apatow, I think, in real life.
Oh, really? Yeah, she's in so many movies. I think her name is Leslie.
Yeah, I just am not sure. I could look it up. You know what? In the future, when we have like a producer on our show, we can, you know how, have you ever seen like podcasts where they have like a researcher like at the same time? That would be so helpful because I don't want to like move screens.
That's true. Yeah. They can like look it up for us.
Everybody knows who we're talking about. That blonde, funny lady who's in a lot of stuff. Well, I mean, that describes like most of Hollywood, but
she's in 17 again as the mom.
She's great. Oh, I want to rewatch that. I've been sending Isabel clips this week because my algorithm understands me of like Zac Efron clips.
Yeah, it's back in the Zac Efron zone.
It understands what I want to see. But I am excited though about Yumi and Tuscany, which comes out next week when we're recording this. So hopefully that'll be good.
I know. Yeah. And that was one where like I watched the trailer and I felt, okay, this piques my interest. So I'm curious to see how that.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize and I think the marketing is interesting because the trailer we've seen, it just seems like the leads and some Italian family members and her best friend, like people I don't really recognize. But then I was watching like a featurette thing on Instagram and Nia Vardalos is in it. So I'm like curious if there are other like bigger people like that just aren't in the, like I thought it was so interesting they didn't include her in the trailer. Almost like kind of a cameo situation, I guess.
Right. But, yeah. I don't know. I'm interested to see. And the Robert Pattinson Zendaya one, it's a rom-com, right? It's not a rom-com. But it kind of...
I feel like I'm going to hate it, but we should watch it. Like as soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, this isn't going to be my movie. Mm-hmm. But
I know. I saw parts of it and I was like, well, I just really love both of them. So that's where I was kind of like, I mean, I loved Rob Pattinson's last movie. I saw the like Mickey 13 or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I do really like his movies. So I'm kind of like, maybe it'll be a weird indie rom-com, but I don't know. I'll probably still go see it though.
Yeah, I'll see it. I want to review more. Like, I still wish we'd reviewed Wuthering Heights because that would have been like so fun because that movie made me so mad. So
yeah.
But anyway, Maggie's here. So I'm going to click stop and we'll let her into the chat.
Yeah.
Hi, Maggie.
Welcome, Maggie.
Thank you. Great to be here.
We were just commenting on your background. I'll say this again. It looks like if you guys see the video version on Spotify, it looks like you're in Twilight, which
say welcome to Forks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I'll be in Twilight.
I mean, I live in the Seattle area, so that 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 franchise is so important to me. So but yeah, so Maggie, we found you on Threads, which is a new avenue of finding guests.
Nice. Yes, I love Threads. I meet so many great people on Threads.
I know we need to just use it more. We were just discussing though, it feels like people go through like waves of like being on Threads and talking on Threads, but then people kind of like go silent for a little bit, but then people come back, and I don't know if that's just us. Or...
That might just be us.
No, that's me too. I keep meaning to. I want to be more like present, and be posting every day. But then I'll go through periods where I am really on it and messaging with people, and then I've disappeared for the last few weeks. Though life gets busy, you can't be on all the time.
Yeah, we can't keep up with our threads.
Yeah, there's too much. Yeah, Isabel and I met, for backstory, on Twitter back in the day before it wasn't as good. We're not on there anymore. But that's kind of how Threads has felt. It's a little bit like the energy of writing Twitter over the pandemic. So, yeah.
Yeah. Rip Twitter.
Yeah, R.I.P.
I know, right? Twitter, not X.
Yeah, we will never call it X.
No, thank you. No.
So Maggie, let's start with of course we want to hear about you, and we want to talk about your rom-com because that's kind of what we watched. And so how did you become a screenwriter, and how did Worth the Wait come to be?
Oh man, that's a great question. I have loved film since I was like a kid. Just loved growing up, like making movies, writing really terrible like scripts, making terrible home videos. I wrote short stories in high school, that kind of thing. So I went to film school, and I was like one of like 5 girls in film school. And so I just embraced it, and I was like, I'm going to make I'm going to make comedies. I'm going to have fun. I'm not going to make like, pretentious film school films. I'm going to do like fun comedies. And so I got some of my friends together, and we decided to make a feature film. It took us about 5 years while we were in film school to just scrap together this ensemble rom-com that I made. And the production quality is terrible because we obviously scraped it together. It was like before iPhones, before even like we shot it on like the first DSLR. So like really old school camera stuff. But when I moved to LA to pursue it more, I met a couple who wanted to produce an ensemble rom-com. They thought their love story was pretty cute, and so they had this idea for an ensemble rom-com that was their love story mixed with other true stories, and just kind of a love letter to romantic comedies through this ensemble. And I said, well, I've got this film. I made it for $8, but you can see my writing style and my, how I would approach it. And so they watched it and they liked it. And so Worth the Wait was actually my first job when I moved to LA. And it just took them, like, I did some rewrites for it, and then they almost shot right before COVID, and then COVID kind of killed everything. So they started from scratch. And so it finally shot, I think, like 7 years after I wrote it.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it was my first job. And yeah, it was amazing to actually see that come to life. Wow, so, and cool. Because of that, amazing. I've gotten other jobs and stuff like that. So that was really my entry into, professional screenwriting.
So when you say you did rewrites on Worth Waits, was there already what place was it at, I guess, before you started to like rewrite it? Or
that was, I rewrote the drafts that I had written, because when it started, they were just like, if you've seen the movie, there's a couple that like meets for a day, but they live like across the world from each other. So that was their love story. They had met and did this like long distance thing. And so basically that was their pitch. That was all they said. Okay. They were like, we have this long distance story. We could do like a bunch of different stories. And so we kind of brainstormed and came up with all the different stories in the movie. One was her sister's, one was mine, and then one, I don't really remember where it came from. The one with the high schoolers, I think we just like made up out of nowhere. But so it was basically, super early it when I came on. And so when we workshopped it and did some rewrites on it, it was a lot to coordinate all the different storylines of how they all connected and how they all came together and stuff like that.
We were just talking about that because we both have like, I don't know, we've been like discussing this on a few episodes of the podcast, is like those kind of movies, and how we just wonder how you balance the different storylines. And I'm kind of curious, how much of it do you outline, or what does that process look like for you for this type of movie?
I'm a insane outliner. I do characters, I do outline, I'll do a full scene by scene outline and really plan everything before I start writing. I think so I'm not, it's just so daunting to start with nothing. So if I can chip away before I go, then it's a lot easier. So I had a full, I do the whole note cards on the wall. And for this one, each storyline was a different color. And so I could kind of see different color note cards of, well, how long has it been since we've seen like Kai and Leah? How long has it been? And so making sure we're interworking everything. So I could kind of visualize it. And then I basically, this was wild. For like a first screenwriting job, it was very complicated, because I had a different document for each storyline. So what I did is like, I'm just going to write this story from start to finish and see how their arcs are and make sure that in itself is a good story. And then I would kind of put all the scenes together and see how they all fit together. And then also the not just story and character, but like tone as well. Because this one was super challenging, because you're going from like true tragic grief loss to like wacky teenager shenanigans and everything in the middle. So making sure that, like, sometimes that was great because the shenanigans was a great relief of like, we've just had this really heavy scene and now we're going to have this like crazy Uber scheme or something like that. And then other times it was like, well, we can't just, dive into the grief and the heartache and kind of easing it and changing scenes and that sort of thing too. So it was kind of like, it was a lot. It was writing like 5 movies in one. Figuring out how to put that together.
That was done so well in the movie too. I was thinking that in the scene where she's like in the hospital, and I was thinking about how well the music play, like when the music and like the heart monitor were sort of like going at the same time, and then it kind of transitioned into like, I think the girl like in her room like getting the text from the guy, and like I don't know, it's just like a really good transition, and it made me feel like a lot of different emotions at once.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean the cast and the director and the music, like it was one of those things where on the page I was like, I think this will work, but but then in execution, like with the music and transitions and the way the actors played it and the way it was directed, like I think they were able to execute it really well, which was great.
Yeah, we've also talked on the pod a lot about the difference between a rom-com and a rom-dram, and how we're kind of confused sometimes, and like like what makes a rom-com, because I think I still would call your movie a rom-com, but it is also a rom-dram sometimes. Yeah, I'm curious, what do you think? Would you still call it a rom-com?
That's such a funny question, because we talked about it on set too. Like we were eating lunch and kind of like I remember asking the producers, like, how are you going to market this? Like, because it kind of, we talked about how it's not, we wanted it that way, where like a lot of the stuff that I gravitate towards in writing is like, I want to see how hard the depths of how heartache is, because I think that's such a big component of experiencing the joy of love. And like when good things happen, you appreciate them more, and not shying away from, how hard things can be. But we had filmed some of the scenes with the couple trying to get pregnant, and our director, Tom Lin, who's amazing, he had done a lot of films in China, and he's famous for directing one of the saddest movies ever made. Like truly, like one of the most sad things, and so, which was great too, because it was, he's really good at people and drama and all of that stuff. And so we joked, we're like, it's not quite a rom-com, it's not right like a rom-dram, but it's a tom-com, it's a tom, like it's what a sad director would make, for this. But and then they marketed it very straight rom-com, like if you see the trailer for it. But there is a little sense of like when things get hard. But I remember texting all my friends and I was like, my movie's out, but like, I had some friends who had struggled with fertility issues and things like that, so I was kind of like, I was like, you're gonna love it, I promise it's happy, but like maybe trigger warning, maybe like, watch it when you're in a good mood, like kind of thing. I did kind of say that a little bit. But yeah, we kind of talked about how each story was sort of its own genre within rom-com,
Yeah, no, I like that. That works. Yeah. No, and I do notice, just like in the rom-com landscape, even a movie like Materialists was presented as a rom-com, and then it was not a rom-com.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. I've had arguments with my friends about Materialists. Like my friend who she calls herself my constituent, because she's like, just write something really happy. She wants really happy endings, and we went to see the Materialists together, and she was like, I just don't think that this is what we wanted. I thought it was great. I loved it. I thought it was good commentary on like the dating landscape and all of that stuff, but it wasn't like straight rom-com.
It wasn't like Devil Wears Prada.
No, that's what's so crazy about the genre, is it's so vast. There's so many different things that can be rom-com or rom-dram or romantic.
I feel like as long as there's a little bit of romance and a little bit of comedy, then that's what we want. We just don't want, really depressing commentary the whole time.
Right, because then it's just, what's funny is like rom-dram is when a movie is called like straight romance, then it's probably like maybe a little depressing, because they don't call it like rom-com. Right. Like, in this romance, I'm like, oh no, like someone's gonna die.
Literally, no, I just saw Reminders of Him, which I knew was not going to be rom-com. I read the Colleen Hoover book. I read it, so they didn't. I'm glad they didn't call it a rom-com. It's not a rom-com.
Yeah,
that
definitely
would be a funny title if it was a rom-com, though.
Reminders of him. Maybe. Yeah. I wanted to ask also, I mean, I want to talk more about your movie, but are you going to see the drama? That's what it's called, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I love Robert Pattinson and Zendaya. Like, I will see anything that
that's
they're
what
in.
I was saying too.
If it's leaning, like, if it's leaning any kind of rom-com, I suspect it will be a little more like materialist world.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it.
Yeah. No, I think we'll review it on the pod for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Love the leads. I was just curious, back to your movie.
Yeah.
When did it find a home on Tubi? Was that always the plan? Yeah, like how after the script and it was made, what happened?
They produced it. It was such an indie film. So they produced it completely independent of any studio or anything like that. They had gotten like private funding. And so we didn't really know like where it was going to live or anything like that. They had like shopped it around a bunch of places. And I found out truly like a couple weeks before. They were like, it's going to be on Tubi. They want it to be their original. And it premieres in 3 weeks. And I was like, can you come out to LA? And it's so crazy because it's like all of a sudden after like 8 years, right? It like takes so long. And then all of a sudden it's out there for the world. So that was, I wasn't super, because I wrote it. So I wasn't super privy to like all of the buying and selling and all of that went on, but we were super excited that Tubi was really excited about it. So that made us excited that it found a home there.
Can you actually explain what Tubi is? Because I feel like I had heard of it before, but this was the first time I watched something on Tubi and I was like, oh, I like this. I don't know why. I don't know. Do other people know what Tubi is and like know it really well?
I don't know if anyone knows what Tubi is, but like it's like a free streaming service. It's based on like commercials, so kind of, like old school financial model. But now everybody has commercials, so
They
all figured out they weren't making money, and they were like, what makes money? Commercials. But I think it had been. It's sort of been just this kind of like random streaming site for a while, but then Tubi they got a new CEO, they got a new like director of content, and so they wanted to start like bringing more original content, like bringing more, like making it more of a destination for people who want good content. So I remember talking about that because we were one of the first like originals under their new like content plan of like bringing people to the platform, which was really cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool. I also had not seen much on Tubi, but I should check it out. There's probably more for me, more rom-coms.
I saw the stuff on it, and I was like, when I was watching it this morning, I was like, oh, I don't know why. I think it's because the layout. Does this make sense? Because like it's less likely that I want to like go on YouTube and like look for something. Does this make sense? It's like it's nice to have like the format of it or something. But I don't know. I was like, maybe you guys have converted me into a Tubi person.
Yeah.
I watched they had a show with Lauren Graham that I liked. It was they had like an original series.
Oh, cool.
Okay, you've already sold me. I'll watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Lauren Graham.
That's awesome. Were you able to know, like, as a screenwriter, I'm just curious if they share this information, like how many people viewed your movie? Do they share those kinds of statistics, like how it did?
So they told us, so Tubi doesn't really share, but they said that it was like #1 on the platform the weekend it came out, and that there were a lot of viewers. Basically, that's kind of what they said, that it did really well, and people seemed to really be liking it. So that was great, and they were great too, because like if you went to Tubi like the first couple weeks that it was on there, it was like front page, watch worth the wait, which was really cool.
That's
that
so
it wasn't like kind of
cool.
buried in this streaming site.
Yeah.
It was wild. I was like, oh my god,
It's so surreal.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was very surreal and very exciting.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And Lana Condor, that's her name, right? She was in it. She was like, I think the only person I was familiar with before I saw it as an actress. Yeah, so that's really cool. She's great.
She was into All the Boys. What was crazy, that's when they called me and they were like, we got Lana Condor. I was like, okay, it's a real rom-com now. Like we really, but it was amazing because I wrote it, you know, however many years before, and I wrote it right when To All the Boys I Love Before came out. And so I was watching it and I was like, this girl's amazing. I wonder if she would want to play our like high school lead. And obviously it took like 8 years to film it. So by that time she was older and we were like, she's actually great for this other character. And so that was like, I got so excited when she was cast, and she was a complete joy to work with. Just the coolest. Like, however charming and wonderful she is on screen, that's exactly how she is in real life too. She's just the best. Yeah,
that's so cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, we've had Sofia Alvarez, who wrote, you know, the To All the Boys I've Loved and directed one of them, and so we love that franchise as well.
Oh, that's so cool. Good. I love those movies.
Me too.
The whole cast was phenomenal. I had known like bits and pieces of people's work. I mean, Ross Butler was also in the To All the Boys series. And so he and Lana were good friends, which was funny because they were like such good friends. They were like weirded out by playing love interests. In like a really cute, like fun way. But yeah, and I was a huge Elodie Young was played Elektra in Daredevil. So like they would just call me. They were like, okay, we've got this person. And then like Andrew Koji was in Peaky Blinders, and he was like, oh yeah, Andrew Koji's gonna play. And I was like, what is going on? So cool. Like they wouldn't even tell me. They were like, well, Elodie's French, so you should probably change, you know, this line. And I was like, wait, who am I writing this for now? Like it was so fun and so surreal. It was it was just really cool. Yeah.
Oh, I did have a question because I was emailing you about this, like the Seattle backdrop. I mean, I knew, you know, as a Seattleite, obviously I was like, this place doesn't exist in Seattle, but most people wouldn't know. They always do that. Every movie they pretend it's Seattle. I mean, I guess Seattle's very rom-com too. I'm curious, like, was it always set in Seattle? And what? How did that happen?
Here's what I suspect is like the Seattle rom-com, or like I think To All the Boys was like set in Portland and things like that. Is it wasn't always set in Seattle. We had written it for a variety of different locations, but then ultimately where it landed with like the financing and the everything, I don't exactly know how, but Vancouver is like a great city to shoot in that also has a lot of like tax benefits for people who shoot there. So it's a lot cheaper to shoot in Vancouver than other places. And so they were like, we're shooting in Vancouver. Let's just like say it's Seattle, because apparently this was what was weird to me. I was like, I want to write a rom-com set in Vancouver, because I was like, why don't we just set it in Vancouver? And they were like, well, somebody said that like people like rom-com set in Seattle more than they like rom-com set in Vancouver, something like that. Like, I don't know if it's something like, so I was like, sure, okay, great. But so we just threw in some Seattle stuff. I have a few close friends who live in Seattle. Like my friend lives in Bellevue, so I think I threw in something about Bellevue. Yeah,
there was that. The date was in Bellevue, and I was like, right. And then there was a Spokane reference.
Yes.
And I think there were a few others, and of course, like I did love all the B-roll at the beginning because I live on an island, so I was like the ferry.
Oh, that's fun. That's awesome. Yes, they did shoot that in Seattle. They like
I mean that was really Seattle. There's this funny I've noticed this, there's this really cute rom-com I love called Puppy Love. They also they say it's in Seattle, and they also kind of superimpose like the Seattle skyline like onto a different park that's like clearly not, but I love it. Anyone who wants to even pretend to be in Seattle, I approve.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Vancouver's the crew was amazing. The crew in Vancouver was so great, and it was a great place to shoot. But there was, I think they threw the skyline in a few shots, and I remember like shooting one of the romantic scenes, and it was like, how's it look? And somebody was like, looks like Vancouver.
It looks beautiful. I mean, it's the same like natural, you know, like we all have the beautiful similar forest, and you know all the nature is so similar, obviously, but it looked beautiful. No, it looked really good.
Yeah, it was. I'd never been to Vancouver before. It was a great place to great place to be. Gorgeous. Well, I'm from Colorado, so
beautiful.
It's similar vibes of like outdoors, you know, that kind of thing.
So you got to be on set when it was
I did.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
I was kind of just like a fly on the wall because which was I was on set for like a couple weeks. I couldn't be there the whole time. But I had done like a bunch of work like updates on the script before we shot. And then so I went up for that and I was like, can I just stay and like hang out? And which they don't often like let you do. But the producers were great and they were like, yeah, come hang out. So I got to be on set, which was great.
That's so cool. Yeah. I'm always curious how that works. Like, were you there all day or would you just like pop in? Yeah, you would just sit and watch.
This was wild because I have done a lot of like filmmaking, you know, like directing or assistant directing or like other things. And so it was wild to just like not really have a role on set, but to just be there to watch because it was like, oh, the call is 6 a.m. tomorrow. We'll roll in at like 9, you know, just like whenever you want to. And then, it was crazy. Just, I felt weird, like just kind of sitting back in Video Village and just watching. It was so fun to see everything come to life. But then I was like, I don't have anything to do. Like, I'm just sort of here.
Yeah. That's amazing though. That's every writer's dream to just be able to be included.
Exactly.
My mom the other day was like shocked that the writer was at the bottom of the hierarchy of like that power. You know, she was like, what do you mean the writer's the creator? And I was like, well,
exactly. And I think it really depends. It depends on like your director and your producers. And for this one, I was like very fortunate to have them like really include me in everything. And like even if they had because one thing I definitely want to talk about is obviously it's an all Asian cast, and so the producers and the director were from various parts of Asia, and so a lot of the writing process for that was me just kind of listening and inputting. For like a little backstory, it wasn't always that way. We had kind of talked about always wanting a diverse cast, but when Crazy Rich Asians came out, and the producers were like, oh, it would be kind of cool to have like an all Asian cast, and a lot of their funding came from people who like wanted to see that representation on screen. And so when they told me, they were like, we're gonna make an all Asian cast, and I was like, okay, cool. So like, you know, you find a new writer, and they were like, no, like we really like working with you. You're a rom-com expert. I was like, okay, I can be like the rom-com person. And then they had a lot of input. We didn't actually change that much because they didn't want to make it too stereotypical or too whatever. But but just like little things. So they were really great in kind of giving me notes and being that like cultural compass. But what was really cool was if I had ideas or things, like a lot of times for other work I've done, you know, the people will give me a note and I'm like, I don't know if that really works, but I kind of just have to do it anyway. With this one, it was super collaborative, and they wouldn't say the draft was done until we were all happy with it, which was really cool. So it was super collaborative.
Ideal. Yeah, it must be hard to take a note that you've really we've talked about that a lot on the podcast too, because like I said, the writer is often not in a position of power, and you want to be like easy to work with, and you know, all those things. So
I think we talked in this one, and kind of in everything, I really have to decide what's my hill to die on. Like this scene or that scene or whatever, like I'm like, oh, that's not really like, that doesn't break it. They really want it. But I remember being on a Zoom call with everyone, and they said something, and I was like, welcome everyone to the hill that I will die on. Like we've arrived here, and I will fight for this thing to happen. And you know, again, and everybody has that. So like they were like, okay, well, this is the hill. And honestly, if it means that much to someone, then like it's worth listening to and worth doing, you know?
That's awesome. It sounds like such a great team that you like got to work with and everything.
The best team. I was so fortunate. Like my first screenwriting job, like I have not had, there've been a few folks that I collaborate really well with, but I just got lunch with the producers the other day and I was like, when are we doing another one? Like this was so great.
That's what I was going to ask, is like, are you going to work with them again, or what kind of happened after this movie? Like, what have you been, did it open new doors for you, or what have you been doing now?
Yeah, definitely. I think to have like a film like this come out has definitely, what's funny is that it was a lot of like folks that I had already known and already talked to and had written scripts with or something. But now I have this produced credit so they can like sell me. So it was like people coming back around of like, oh yeah, like we do want you to write this thing and we do want that. So it's been pretty amazing, to be honest. And I feel very fortunate because the industry's not doing great right now, especially like, writing wise. There's not a ton of jobs out there, but I have been extremely busy, which has been amazing. So, cool. So I've been doing writing a lot of mostly like features kind of in this vein, comedy, romantic comedy, that kind of thing. So that's been great. It's the dream.
Yeah. Living the dream. And you're based in LA now.
I actually still live in Colorado.
Oh, okay. So you don't even have to live in LA.
Right.
Okay. So you just fly. Do you fly in a lot? I'm just curious. How that works.
I was just there last week. So I had moved to LA, lived there most of the time when I was writing this, and was doing a lot of writing for other people, as well as like every other job under the sun. Then COVID times, I moved back home because I was like, if I'm going to work from home, I'm going to work from home. And so, and just never really haven't left. And I'm able to do a lot via Zoom. I think that part of the pandemic kind of changed the way people work. Like I have a friend who works in television and he said he was taking meetings. And I said, just out of curiosity, are these in-person meetings or like, or are they on Zoom? And he lives in LA and he's like, I'm still taking meetings over Zoom. So it works out.
That's encouraging for a lot of us,
Yeah, totally. And so I do fly out. I was just there last week and it works great because I'm like, instead of you're kind of just there and every once in a while you try to get together with someone. Instead, I'm like, hey, I'm in town. It's a special occasion. We should all get together. And so I can get more in-person meetings, which is great. And there's always something that comes up. I seem like get more opportunities that way.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. That's
awesome. Yeah. Remind people I exist.
Yeah, I think, like you're saying, like the pandemic obviously was horrendous, but it really opened up so many different avenues for screenwriters, I think, and all sorts of professions, but especially writing, I think, in LA.
Yeah. It made essays and theses will be written on the effect of the pandemic on the industry for good and bad. But that was at least one thing that is helpful, I think. So.
Do you ever do TV writing? That's the only thing that comes to mind but although I know a lot of virtual rooms maybe still happen, I don't know. But like, are you ever interested in TV or is it just features? Yeah,
I love TV. I moved to LA originally to work in TV, but then just sort of got features and it's sort of like, I'm not going to be like, oh, features, like, yeah. So it's great. It's weird. Like I'm in a room that's based in Germany, for like a German company that is all writers in LA except me. So it's a wild time. You know what I mean? Like it's just, there's
so interesting.
Like a lot of rules, but there are a lot of traditional rooms that are in LA. And I think that's one of the things that I don't know if that will be in my future or not. It'd be a lot of fun to work in television, but also like, with like union wise and other things, there's not a lot of jobs in the room anymore, so features are kind of easier. But I do have a rom-com pilot like show idea that I would love to make at some point in time that I'm going to try to pitch. Because obviously I think it's great. But Good luck. Thank you.
yeah, we had a showrunner on the podcast as well who wrote this show for Hallmark, and it was cool to hear about what that was like as a screenwriter, because well, if you're a showrunner, you also have more power. We learned if you can be kind of produce as well. But yeah, it would be cool to like, I don't know. TV has never really been my dream, or I don't think really for Isabel, but what she can tell us. But I think it'd be cool like one day to. I wonder how plotting is like in a collaborative environment. You know, that might be fun to not just be alone with my outline.
So, oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, I still like, even with features, like I have a writing group, and I try to brainstorm as much as possible. Cause yeah, I think the collaboration is so important. I was in like a writer's room one time, and I don't remember what we were brainstorming, but the guy across from me threw out an idea, and I was like, I'm sure that I could have thought about this concept for the rest of time and never came up with that idea. Like, it's so cool to bring writers together.
That sounds really fun. And for comedy too.
Yeah. Just like riffing on comedy and stuff like that. I watch Hacks and I'm like, this does look fun. It looks terrible.
I do. I mean, I started, we joined a writing group this past like month. I do feel like I notice that has been so much more motivational for me in terms of like actually getting stuff done. So I do see that like having other people that you're like meeting with weekly or bi-weekly to sort of like have workshop your stuff or just, you know, work ideas off of, I think is really helpful.
Yeah, totally. I am a very externally motivated person. Like I can't, I need a deadline.
Yeah.
And so I started like, I had the most extreme, I had like all these deadlines. And so I've started doing this insane thing where I will like take a chunk of money and put it in like a savings account. And then I have like one of my best friends who's also a writer. I'm like, I have to write every day and I have to finish this draft by X date. Otherwise, you need to take this money and donate it to the National Mustard Museum. Yeah. And it works.
That's amazing.
It works. I mean, no offense to mustard, but it's basically like throwing money down the drain. So.
Yeah. No, that's the first time we've ever heard that from a guest. That's really funny.
Really?
That is a fun motivational tactic to try.
Yes, exactly.
I love that. Yeah. I'm curious too. Like, I would love to start asking our guests this more. Yeah, like what you're kind of talking about that, but like, what is your routine like when you write? I feel like that's always so interesting. Do you set a timer? Do you write first thing in the morning? Like that sort of thing.
That's a good question. I'm a little bit of a productivity nut, so I've like tested out like what's my optimal energy, and I think I do best if I can just write like on a project for like an hour a day. And so like a few hours on different projects, because I have like a bunch of things going on at the same time. And like really pacing myself is the best way to do it. Do I do that? Not usually. Usually I have like a big deadline or something coming up where I have to write a bunch at once. And so I actually am not a morning person. I'm not a morning, like I'm not creative in the morning. I'm groggy in the morning. So I kind of give myself a good amount of time to just like, I go for a walk, I journal, I'll do like whatever until I feel like I'm awake. And then usually by that point, I've thought about my writing enough to be at least a little inspired. It was like, oh, I could do this or do this, to like have an idea. Yeah. So then I'll start writing. And I don't set a timer because if it interrupts, I just don't want to be interrupted. So if I'm in the flow, I'll write. And if I'm not in the flow, I won't write. Like I just the forcing myself to do it is the tough part. So I have a lot of grace for myself where I will sit. I have to get it done. So if I get distracted, I just know I'm going to be working later, if that makes sense. You know, where if it's really not coming, like this happened yesterday, like I have a big deadline. I have to get a script done by tomorrow. And I find that the like, keep writing, you have to get it done. Like it just does not bring fun rom-com like ideas. So I was like, okay, I'll go for a walk. I'll think about it. I'll come back. I'll write, I write out of order too. So it's like, I'll write what's easy, because I have a scene by scene outline because I've already done like all of that. So it's like, oh, I have an idea for this scene, so I'll do that. And then once I have most of it done, I feel more momentum coming, to get it. So I don't know how that works for like a routine. I think I used to be like a big, like, I'm going to write from 10 to noon, but I just don't think a lot of like creativity works that way. So like my rule is like, I have to get it done. So I'm just going to work until I get it done, even if I take an hour break here or there.
Yeah.
So I also just found out that I love listening to music while I write because it like really like motivates me. But I just found out, just like a writing tip is that listening to music with lyrics actually like strains your brain for writing. So like, because you're, whatever the part of your brain that processes language is like processing the lyrics in the background while you're trying to think of words. So
that would distract me.
Yeah, that would really distract me too. I can do it at a coffee shop, but it sometimes is difficult depending on how loud they play the music with the lyrics.
I'll usually go like on a walk and listen to like the playlist I've created for my script to sort of like give me some like motivational energy. So then like by the time I come back to my apartment, I'm like, okay, I'm like in the mood now.
Nice.
and then I'll write in silence.
That's a great idea. In complete silence.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Interesting.
You guys don't write in complete silence?
I get like sleepy. That's why I was like, I listened to like early 2000s pop punk music.
Oh, love.
Man, that distracted me so much.
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes I'll look up like writing instrumental playlist on Spotify or whatever, or sometimes it's silence. It depends on my mood.
Yeah. See, I'm a morning writer, so like that's I was telling Aviva before we chatted with you, was like that has definitely been my routine that works best for me. Is like one of the first things I feel like I have the most creative energy in the morning, so I've been trying to like get back into. I usually get up, kind of have my coffee, and then I'll sit down and then I just write and I just get out, like, because I feel like I also go to bed or like sometimes dream in my scripts, so it's like I want to wake up and kind of like get that energy out and then go to work and go about my day.
It's
I will, because that's a good point. So I am such a privileged, lucky person that I can write full time. But
that's awesome.
When I was
goals,
seriously, when I was working, then it's a completely different story. I'd wake up at like 5 a.m., try to write because I knew that all my creativity would be blasted by the end of the day. So you kind of just have to do what you have to do,
depending on your schedule.
But cool. Aviva, what about you? Do you have any writing tips?
Ooh, what are my writing tips? I'm thinking, well, I am a timer lady. I do like a good timer. So I do like, the Pomodoro method where it's like 25 minutes and then there's a 5-minute break. So sometimes if I'm not in the mood, it depends on my mood. If I'm like really excited, I'm going to start writing if I have the time. But if I don't feel like writing, I just turn on the Pomodoro, like it's a website and you just click start and I'm like, okay, at least for 25 minutes, I'm going to do this.
Well, and that's the thing. Yeah. Cause one of my writing friends just blew my world the other day. She was like, she's like, I don't treat writing like it's sacred. She's like, I will, if I have 10 minutes, like she has a 1-year-old baby. And so she's like, if I have 10 minutes, I'm just going to open my script and write for 10 minutes and then get pulled away. And I found that like when I was in LA last week, I would arrive to a coffee shop like 10 minutes early and just like write a scene, or something like that. And all of a sudden I came back and I was like, oh, I wrote 30 scenes last week. So, like in these little pockets of time.
Yeah. I love a good ritual, but I think the perfectionism can get in the way where you're like, if I'm going to sit down, a candle must be lit and I must write for like 2 hours or like it doesn't count. But like, totally just like sneaking in a scene.
Oh my gosh.
Is better than nothing.
If you want to get like real deep and existential, like real writer talk, like I read this book a couple years ago called The Perfectionist Guide to Losing Control.
Whoa.
Ooh, I need that.
Read for perfectionist writers. I like realized I was like, man, I don't have the output I want, or I'm not getting stuff out there because there's like something inside of me that's like, I'm scared that this isn't good enough. I don't think it's good enough. I'm super perfectionist about it. I have to have the perfect routine, and it kind of just like throws all that out of the window and like let it be messy.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm laughing because I just realized I did light a candle this morning.
Yes,
but that's a candle.
Have your coffee.
That isn't related to my writing though. Yeah, that is part of my morning routine. I usually wake up and I light candles. I like literally to like have a very slow start.
Here's my candle.
I light a candle or incense. I get my coffee started. I might do like a little morning meditation, and then I go into the writing.
That's just living a good life. That's just like enjoying the little luxuries. I love it.
Romanticizing it, I think, is fun for me when I'm in the mood for that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the other, I don't know if this will be helpful, but I always refer in my head and to others as what I'm writing as the vomit draft. It's kind of a gross expression, but I find that really helpful because of the perfectionism, because my mind is like, okay, if this is supposed to just be the sloppiest thing, which it usually actually isn't, even by the end of the vomit draft, I tend to edit as I go. But I don't know, it lowers the stakes in my mind. And then I think that does help.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to have something, it's so much easier to edit than come up with nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Or to have nothing.
That's similar to what I was saying on an episode that I do where I call it my like dump draft, where it's like, I'll put like the title of my movie, dump draft, and then it's like, okay, I have this random scene idea. I don't really know where I'm going to use it yet. And I just kind of write it. I just put it there where I'm like, this is just a bunch of scenes that don't make sense yet, but they might go into the main draft.
Yeah. Or like, have you talked about Greta Gerwig's like writing style? Where
Remind us. I think a little bit, but
she will write, like, I think the original script for Lady Bird was like 300 pages because she just wrote like she's like, here's this idea, here's this idea, and she just lets herself write. And then when she edits, she finds like the best bits of all the, if you cut half of it, you're left with what's really, really good. I was like,
that would stress me out to have that all in one document.
Oh my God, 300 pages. I would
like 300 pages and you have to go through that?
That sounds overwhelming. Yeah. But no, it's interesting to hear what people do. Like, back to what we were talking about when you were outlining Worth the Wait with the note cards. I also love note cards so much. And the colors, like that's something I've never done because I've never really attempted a multi-storyline situation. So that's interesting to hear that you did that too. Just to see it visually.
Like A plots, B plots. It's great.
Yeah. No, I love note. Like basically I've been giving advice to our friend Mary Catherine, who's like writing her first script. And it's interesting to hear. Yeah, just like it's interesting to go back into my head and like see like what is my process and like what do I do and anyway, the book like the screenplay by Sid Field is the one I like always reference, and I think that is like literally if I just hand that book to someone, I'm like, this is what I think I do. Yeah. Do you have any favorite books or other resources for screenwriters just starting? I'm just curious.
That's a good one. Like honestly, the one I mentioned, like most of mine are like mental health, like therapy more. It's like Perfectionist Guide to Losing Control. The War of Art is really good. The second half of On Writing by Stephen King. The first half's good too, but
I've read that as well. Yeah.
What's it called? Madeline L'Engle has a book. What's it called? Bird by Bird.
Oh,
that one's amazing.
I've read that a long time ago.
And then I really like, I think it's called The Writer's Journey by Christopher Vogler. And it's a really accessible introduction to the hero's journey and archetypes, like the Joseph Campbell hero's journey, which I gravitate towards.
Yeah. Have you guys read Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert?
Oh, yeah.
I love that. That's probably my favorite, one of my favorite books. Not about like how to write, but just kind of how scary creativity can feel, even if we love it. It's so scary, and that's why people avoid it for years. you know?
Yeah,
so
that's a good
that
one
one's
too.
a good one.
I feel like I could chat with you both all day. Like it's just such a fun little.
This is so fun. I love when our conversations get more just like chatty and less just like proper.
It's always fun to chat with other writers.
Yeah,
I know. Like we understand each other.
We do. Yes. And it's like a spiritual thing, kind of. Like, you know, like with all the self-help books and like the meditation. And I don't know, I feel like it's like a scary spiritual thing that we all do.
Absolutely. I feel like there's so much out there about like story structure and here's how to write good dialogue, and there's not a lot about like here's how to live as a creative person and as a writer and how to like manage all of this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you hear, I was watching the Academy Awards and the like Ryan Coogler and Paul Thomas Anderson and anyone who won was like, thank you and sorry to my family for like, you know, dealing with a writer and like putting up with all this.
Totally.
So ladies and gentlemen, we are now preparing for rapid fire questions.
What is your favorite rom-com and why?
Okay, I want to, like, I know this is rapid fire. I love the classics like You've Got Mail, When Harry Met Sally, 10 Things I Hate About You. I think some modern faves would be About Time and Crazy Stupid Love. I love. We were talking about the difference between rom-com and rom-dram. I think one of my all-time favorite movies, period, is Before Sunset, which kind of like leans into the drum, but it's so good and it's funny and witty and has like the best ending scene of all time.
Yeah,
it's so good.
That trilogy. Yeah, it's so good. Do you have a favorite rom-com trope to write?
Yes, I love second chance, like exes reuniting type.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I married my ex, so you know.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Because in my head, when you said that, I was like, well, that's not realistic. But like when you shared your tropes,
you never know.
I was talking to my friends. I was like, I just gravitate towards like exes, you know, like getting another chance. And she was like, yeah, that's your story. Like,
I love that. That's really sweet.
Okay, do you have a favorite rom-com outfit?
I have a lot. I think my number one, You've Got Mail, Kathleen Kelly with like tan khakis, a white turtleneck, and like a beige cardigan holding a pumpkin. Like that is such a
love the accessory. Okay.
It's like I want to live there wherever like, I want to be there.
Me too. And you know, we've had, not to keep name dropping, but we've had Delia Ephron on the podcast who co-wrote You've Got Mail, which was so exciting for us.
I like fangirled all the folks you had on your
it's been
podcast.
Amazing who said yes. Okay, your favorite rom-com line or moment?
I was trying to think outside the box because I know a lot of people have said probably some of the classic ones, but truly the first thing that came to my mind, I think episode 5 of Heated Rivalry. I don't know if I can give spoilers, but like the end. Yeah. Have you seen it?
I've seen it. Isabel, have you seen it?
Okay.
Episode,
I'll just tell you
because it'll make sense to me later.
Just tell us. Yeah.
Episode 5 I was like crying. It has like one of the best like rom-com get together things of the whole that I've seen in years. Like I was trying to think of like what has made me feel so happy and so like elated that two people are getting together.
Yeah, we should discuss. Isabel, could we persuade you to watch it? Will you watch it?
Yeah, it's on my list. It's
because this is a side tangent, but I did not understand the hype for the first 3 episodes. I was like, this is good. Am I addicted yet? And then I saw the last couple, especially the last one, and I understood. I also fell in love. Yeah. It was so sweet.
It is. It's so sweet. It's great.
I want to watch it. It's just that it's hard for me to watch a gay romance right now, considering that I've been going through that, the heartbreak side of that.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear.
I know. We joke on this. We joke on the show when we're more heartbroken. It's hard to watch rom-com sometimes, and we go to the true crime. Isabel goes to true crime.
You got to curate.
I'm teetering out of it, I would say.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Okay. Oh, my turn. I was like, which one? Okay. So. Have you seen any rom-coms recently that you'd recommend?
I watched one, I think it's on Hulu. It was like this indie rom-com called Rye Lane. That was really cute.
I feel like I've seen that. Yeah, like on Hulu's. Suggested.
Yeah,
we want to see it. We want to review it on the pod. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, recommend.
Okay. Well, cool. It's on our list. Because a couple other guests I think have recommended it. If money didn't matter, what's a rom-com that you would want to make?
I think it would be the show that I really want to make. Mm-hmm. I call it a romantic procedural. So it's like a team of people who help others get over breakups with all. So like Scandal for relationships would be the thing. So.
You've sold me.
That's a great idea.
I want to join. Can you hire us for your writing team?
Oh my gosh, 100%. Yes.
That's all you need is to say that. Scandal for
Scandal for relationships. Well, kind of like what you were saying of like, you got to pair the right movies and you got to pair, it's like how do you go through a breakup and
I love
the
that.
Way. They'll get your stuff back.
Oh, it sounds amazing.
Have like an algorithm for like, this is what movies you should watch to get over.
Exactly.
That's cute.
Amazing. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, good luck with that.
Thank
Fingers crossed.
I know. I am gonna pitch it, so we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Yeah. It's amazing. Okay. Wait. Is it my turn now? I'm not being a good.
Oh no, it's my turn.
Is it your turn? Okay.
Okay, so what are you working on now? What's on the horizon other than pitching this awesome TV show idea?
Yes, we'll see. I'm working on a lot of scripts right now, which is really exciting. I have I don't know how much I can say about them, but they're all like a couple of rom-coms, more like classic rom-coms. I am writing one with my husband that's very much kind of like our story.
I was gonna say, I want to
I really want to know the story.
As soon as you said that, I was like, I'm so curious to know the story.
Yeah. It's a good one. Great. So we'll wrap it into a rom-com and
cute.
That's really
hopefully
sweet.
Get that made as well.
I love that you guys are writing it together too.
Yeah. He's also he's in the industry, so we like to collaborate.
Okay, cool.
I almost feel like there could be a movie about two exes writing a movie about themselves and like bickering over the now we're at the part where you messed everything up.
That would be so good.
That. That's really fun.
Isabel, I want to write that now too.
Or like from the bullet, like a sliding doors kind of thing, like two different perspectives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, that's genuinely.
And I will write a movie about you guys writing a movie.
Awesome.
No, imagine and then like
sign the life rates and all.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting. I know we have to wrap this up, but it's interesting that like exes have probably different perspectives as to what happened. Like everyone has a different POV, which is wild to think about when you think your POV is correct, you know? So
yeah, that's another good like multi-storyline movie of like
of all the
of their like different perspectives of what went wrong.
I know.
Oh, love it.
I would tell you, I was devastated to find out that it wasn't all his fault that we broke up.
Oh,
wow.
That's a shocker. That's a plot twist right there. It's like, wait, I wasn't perfect?
Yeah.
Like what?
Me? What are you talking about? I've often thought about that.
I'm open to the idea. Yeah.
Like I've always wanted to write some sort of like therapy rom-com that might be coming up, and like just how people, that your therapist only knows the perspective that you tell them and your version of events, which is like weird to think about. Like so they can't be necessarily objective if like you're only telling them your side and what you experience. So
I'm obsessed with this. This is
I know. Yeah. I know. I'm like, there's so many different ways that story could go. Like, does the therapist start dating the person's ex, and then
I have a couple ideas. I really do want to write that one.
Can you do like a spin-off of your show where it's just like we all develop ideas and you just bring all the
I would love
that.
Yeah. Oh my God. That'd actually be really fun if we like included maybe like a couple previous guests and we all just like came up with a rom-com idea together.
Yeah. That's the web really series version of this.
Yeah. That'd be amazing. Okay, well, I know we're running out of time. So just to conclude, where can we follow your career online or social media or anything like that?
Yeah, so, well, we talked about Threads. So it's at Maggie Hartmans, Threads and Instagram, and then maggiehartmans.com is where most of my other stuff lives.
Yeah, and everyone should go on Tubi, which is free.
Yes.
And you don't even need an account. You can make one if you want to like track your progress and pause, but you shouldn't pause. I pause too much when I watch movies. I should just watch them all the way through. So we'll put everything in the show notes. But yeah, thanks for coming on the show today.
This was so wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Yeah, it was so nice to connect. Yeah. This has been an episode of When Isabel Met Aviva.
If you want to stay up to date with our episodes, please subscribe. Bonus points if you leave us a positive review.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Threads at When Isabel Met Aviva. See you next time.